Morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 27th of March. So first things first, let's just have a look at the news as ever. Well, we have seen some news overnight. Get the right one, there we go. Australian inflation coming out lower, slightly lower than expected, which there'll be a relief for some at least. So that's out today. Yesterday there was a mixture of data coming out. Let me just look at my other system from here, and the real one was US consumer confidence later on, which dropped a shade to 104.7, away from 106.9. Not a major one. Core durable goods were more, in my book, more important, and the core durable goods up slightly, and the durable goods overall up as well. So still looking positive in the US there. So it's quite dollar positive. But anyway, let's have a look at what these markets are doing. There's very little out today. It's all light content. In fact, we've already seen this Australian inflation that's come out. Just get the right figures there. Where are you? Slightly under, as I've already mentioned. We've got some Spanish inflation coming out. That's not going to affect the market at all. We've got FOMC member Waller speaking later, sometime later. There we go. He's not until 10 o'clock. Okay, nothing. Right, let's look at the technical. So the euro dollar, lower highs, lower lows in the bigger time frame, still looking soft. It's looking soft. Yesterday it broke its weekly pivot here, but couldn't hold on too well. Well, maybe it closed fractionally above the weekly, but the next bar really sorted things out. Certainly put a dampener, ended up with a bit of a pivot swing. It's consolidated around that phase at the moment. Maybe we'll see further downside on this. Certainly looking at that sort of first soft bit now, but we've spent God knows how many hours now going sideways from this move. So the main move came through. It's looking softer on the intermediate time frame. On this lower time frame, well, it still looks pretty soft, but it would be nice to wipe out the daily pivot just for the numbers. Yesterday, that's what drew it down, was the daily pivot. Okay, the pound. Well, it's got the lower high in there. So again, looking similar-ish, same sort of price action, although it didn't close above the weekly. It's looking okay from the move that was hit there. We are seeing a little bounce on the pound at the moment. Yeah, just catching a little bit of upside, but again, really be looking on the short side of things here. It's not the cleanest of moves, but if it was to switch around, start breaking the lows there, it's got the potential to continue down towards its quarterly pivot. Maybe it's S1, weekly S1 that be. Now, well, typical here with the yen, we've run into those I think I read 34-year highs for the dollar yen, or lows for the yen as it effectively is. It's ran back into that level, and then we've had chitter chatter about intervention, and that's pulled it off a little bit. It's not come off too strongly. It is only chatter at the end of the day. It has brought it away somewhat. Got to be a bit careful with this with the yen now. As soon as they start threatening action, we'll see whether price action will push back up there, but I don't like it once they start chatting. Personally, it's just a case of you just end up sitting in a trade or potential trade which is technically correct, but could be a risk, or higher risk, because of manipulation effectively. Anyway, the Aussie US dollar here, where we saw that inflation coming out lower, it's gone lower, and all it's done is just run into those prior lows. I've still got a marker on here. Now, yesterday I was looking for the break of this this bar here, never happened. Initially it pushed up more, managed to close under. Still quite a bearish looking. It could have been, if you've taken the trade, that's fine. To me, it's still reacting off this level around the weekly, and like a lot of these markets, pulling off at the moment. Now, whether that double bottom's going to hold up, we'll see. But we're getting back into the higher volume again now, so it'll be a good tester this morning. The normal situation, some people ask me, well, would you take a short here? And I often say, no, not from here. It's a bit in between where it's sitting there. US dollar CAD, so like a lot of these markets, if you don't catch at the right time, sometimes you just end up being a sightseer. US CAD still looks like it's got scope to run out the highs here at some stage. It's getting back towards there. One thing is, it could have quite a bit of resistance around there. It's obviously proven to have resistance around about 136.05 previously, and this could well come into play again. We've got the inverted pattern effectively that retraced to the weekly pivot, and it's reacting off of that. And on the shorter time frame, well, it looks like it's got the scope to push up to those prior highs. Again, it's probably a not from here, because you've got resistance right bang in front of us. New Zealand dollar, just like the others really, lower highs, lower lows. It's pulled back into its weekly pivot. Beautiful picture here, lovely reaction to it. In fact, this is just what it's done here, and there's a few of them that have done it. They've got pretty close to their prior lows, and it's what it's done here. So it's finding a bit of support, getting a bit of buy-in at that sort of level. We'll see how it develops. If you're still short on it, that's fine. It's the patterns. The thing is, you can only go with the pattern. If you start trying to say, well, I'm going to have to come out here or whatever else, for whatever reason, you're just finding reasons to mess things up. Yep, sometimes the pattern's not going to work off, but when they do, they go. That's all. We're just trading. It's a percentage game at the end of the day. So with all of these, they've all hit their. I say all hit, but many have hit the weekly pivots. And then he hits the US dollar, and of course it's got nowhere near its weekly pivot. It's just going and going. Sorry, US dollar Swissy, and it's just continued pushing up the upside here. This is the strongest sort of continuation we've seen for some time. Solid old movement to the upside, and there'll probably be chit chat about intervention there soon. But for now, just looking back, let's just have a look at the weeklies on this. If you're trading, oh come on, there we go. Weeklies, we're not that far away from the previous sort of resistance points, support points, but I'm sure at some stage we'll catch something, but it's not from here again. It never pulled. Started off arguably, did it? No, never got anywhere near its weekly. It's just gone. Sometimes that's what it does. Now it's hit its weekly R1. There is the potential for that to push on now to the R2. It hasn't hit the pivot. The probability is much better just running in towards the R2. So yes, it's got some more upside potential. You know what I'm going to say, not from here. Euro yen. Let's just go back to a daily on this, would be good. So daily again. Well, the euro hasn't really had the legs to push on here against the yen, as the dollar has. This is slowed up here this week. You argue it's done what the others have done in terms of pulling back. It pulled back really early there into the weekly, and it's much more consolidated and ugly and risky. So probably best avoided as it sits at the moment. Okay, CAD yen. I will discuss this because I've been talking about it quite a bit. It's still up there. It's still giving us green bars on the dailies. It's slow. It's pulling back. It's 1.5 steps up, 1 step back, which is fine. It can do that as much as it likes. Just a steady climb is fine. It's not moving quite as nice as it did when it was up here, but we'll see what develops, but I'm still long on this, and I will be holding this up for my target up here somewhere. Right, okay, that's the Forex pairs. Quick look at the indices. Whoops, just clicked on the wrong one there. Looking at gold first, sorry. Now I've looked at wheat. Let's get back to gold. I've clicked on the wrong button. Something wrong. We're looking at wheat. I tell you what, cocoa is over $1,000 now. It's pushed up. There's some shortages. It might be a more expensive Easter, depending where you shop for your cocoa. Anyway, and your chocolate. Gold spot. It's a bit of a mess here, isn't it? This is 4 hourly. It's quite ugly as it sits. That's still last week's sort of price action kicking through there, but nothing I want to be doing there. The oil prices are coming off a little bit where they're sitting here. It's actually pushed higher than the range I expected it to run, to be fair, but it's running back towards the lows from last week there at this stage. Still not getting decent. I mean, you look at it yesterday, absolutely ugly day. Still not getting decent moves. Okay, it did the day before. It managed to push up there and get a bit of a wiggle on, but it's much tighter market. Still not interested in trading it yet, or again at the moment. S&P's coming off still slowly. I mean, and it is very slowly. I mean, relative to the whole movement, people get a bit excited about it pulling off. It's not far away from the weekly there. We could see this all reverse and continue to the upside. We'll see. It's an intermediate, shorter time frame rather here. Certainly looking quite bearish. Okay. Certainly looks bearish on the shorter time frame. I wouldn't be looking to buy that from here, but in fact it's done a lovely little swing around there, but it all can change. We've got to keep an eye on the big time frames here. I certainly wouldn't. It's just don't want to be a seller on this market. Just need to wait for the buying opportunities. Nasdaq similar. So these markets. Let's look at the DAX. DAX continues to push up. There's not a lot stopping this really at the moment. It has double topped on the shorter time frames here, so maybe we'll get a bit of a correction this morning. Pivot's untouched below there, but it didn't even catch the pivot yesterday. Just pushed on through the R1 into the R2 yesterday. It was in a bit of no man's land when I initially looked at it. Anyway, FTSE, same sort of everything. It's a lot of consolidation. Whichever market you're looking through at the moment, we could get a bit of oomph come through. Whatever's going to be the driver, eh? Anyway, on that note, I will leave it there, and I will catch you, YouTubers. I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.